I can't believe I was trafficked to this horrible country. I can't believe I was trafficked to this horrible country. I am not an American. I am not an American.
Hey guys, my name is Madi and you're welcome to Madi Speaks. Some time ago, we discussed a situation where a well-meaning man adopted two black children who were abandoned by their parents and extended family. His name was Michael Chandler, and he took these children in, provided them with a loving family, gave them love and a secure future. But some people on the internet were mad at him for adopting these kids. They were not mad because he was a horrible person, which he wasn't, okay? But because he was white and the kids he adopted were black. A particular black woman on the internet came to criticize him, and she said,
"Why do white people adopt black children? It's a real question for me."
Even though Michael Chandler practically saved these two little kids by taking them in and sparing them a life in the orphanage home, which we know is not rosy at all, he was still criticized because he is white. Fast forward to today, we have this Chinese woman who was adopted from a Chinese orphanage by a white couple who came online to accuse white people of purchasing her and trafficking her from China. Take a look.
I can't believe I was trafficked to this horrible country. I can't believe I was trafficked to this horrible country. I am not an American. I am not an American.
It is not a metaphor. I was purchased when I was a toddler. I was trafficked into the United States. I was purchased by white people. I was sold from an orphanage.
Now, during her childhood, this woman was in a Chinese orphanage, but fortunately, she was adopted by a white couple. She was adopted, not trafficked. This woman was adopted by a loving and compassionate American couple, brought over to the land of the free, given a good life, provided for, sent to school, made an American citizen, enjoys the freedom of speech and the freedom to become queer or whatever she identifies as, okay? But because she is a horrible human being who has been infected by the woke mind virus and who harbors a kind of hatred for white people so that black people can see her as an ally, okay? She decided to victimize herself and attack white people because the white couple adopted her. I have a lot to say to this lady, but before I expose my opinions, let's take a look at what some other reasonable people had to say.
I can't believe I was trafficked to this horrible country. I can't believe I was trafficked to this horrible country. I am not an American. I am not an American.
She was in a Chinese orphanage and got adopted. Not trafficked, adopted.
It is not a metaphor. I was purchased when I was a toddler. I was trafficked into the United States. I was purchased by white people. I was sold from an orphanage.
I mean, she can call it whatever she wants, but that was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to her. Because she gets to be in America, on her phone, whining on TikTok about how bad she hates America, instead of what most likely would have happened to her if she stayed over there. Truth is, she wasn't going to get adopted by anybody in China. Less than 0.1% of Chinese orphans get adopted domestically. So she would have just stayed institutionalized, then turned 14 and aged out, meaning she's ineligible to be adopted anymore. And this is what happens to kids in China who age out. The best case scenario, they get to stay in the orphanage, finish school, and get a minimum wage service job. The opportunity for higher education, a better job, or starting a family are virtually unattainable for these kids. Now, worst case scenario, you get to be released out onto the streets alone with no resources at the ripe age of 14 years old. And then when you're out on the streets alone with no resources or money, you'll be forced to find a way to make some money. You'll be forced to put yourself in shady, undesirable situations like selling your body, which happens to a lot of homeless women, and then you'll really be trafficked. So yeah, America has its problems. Nobody's saying we're perfect. But thank God a white American family decided to purchase this young lady and bring her to America. Because if that didn't happen, odds are she'd be living in a situation 100 times worse.
I can't believe I was trafficked to this horrible country. I can't believe I was trafficked to this horrible country.
Wow. I mean, you must be really strong to have went through something as traumatic as what you're describing while still being able to express yourself to the world. Please tell us more.
It is not a metaphor. I was purchased when I was a toddler. I was trafficked into the United States. I was purchased by white people. I was sold from an orphanage.
I am not an American.
This kind of rhetoric does an extreme disservice to the millions of people actually dealing with the atrocity of trafficking right now as we speak. As in over 3 million children, over 9 million men, over 10 million women that just wish they had the opportunities that you have. You were adopted.
I was purchased by white people. I was sold from an orphanage.
You know how many of those unfortunate souls wish they were back home with their family or wish they even had one to begin with?
Obsess over me. Obsess over me. Obsess over me. Yes, please.
You know how many of those unfortunate souls wish that they could see and know the thousands of individuals that are constantly obsessing over them, let alone see this from the comfort of their home. They don't get to garner thousands of followers that want to watch their every move. Those people don't get to let their voices be heard in their school newspaper. Those children do not get to use their privilege to get a bachelor's degree in sociology and a minor in ethnic studies, but a bachelor's degree nonetheless. I mean, tell me, how do you basically specialize and major in calling out people who abuse their social and systemic privilege, and yet you're Exhibit A? Because you use your immense privilege and opportunity to come on this app and play the victim. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Honestly, my heart goes out to her poor adoptive parents. I pity them, okay? They probably tried so hard and yet she ended up being a miserable, white-hating daydem. I bet that couple regret their decision to adopt her every day with what she's become. This lady is undeniably privileged as compared to real, genuine trafficked individuals. Yet, she only sees herself through the lens of a victim. She has so much opportunities, yet...
What did I get? The opportunity to be homeless in the United States? The opportunity to have slurs thrown at me in public all the time? Nah.
No, ma'am. You have the opportunity to become a public figure with a voice. You were bestowed with the opportunity to become an American writer in an American society, the same America you detest so much. The opportunity to publish a book, and you're obviously happy about it.
Oh my gosh, my payment for my DOI is late, but I'm gonna get it anyways. I'm so excited. I'm gonna have a DOI to myself. I'm gonna be published. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm gonna be in a journal. I'm gonna be in a peer-reviewed journal. Oh my gosh.
You got the opportunity to a good education, a family who took care of you when you were little, a university degree, freedom to identify as whatever you choose, a voice that people listen to. You got the opportunity not to be an orphan, an opportunity not to become a sex worker because of circumstances, an opportunity to have a family and get bestowed a surname, which is very important, an opportunity not to be by yourself on the streets of China. You've got so many opportunities, madam. Yet, instead of being grateful for all you've got, you chose to be a bitter, spoilt brat.
The thing is, I don't blame my bio parent, and there are a lot of people attacking me for my stances on adoption. I don't blame them. They cared enough to leave me somewhere when they couldn't afford to keep me. Can you blame them?
Okay, you were abandoned by people who birthed you, and nobody in your country was willing to adopt you and make you part of their family. Not even your relatives or biological parents. They all gave up on you. And a white couple who saw you as a beautiful, worthy human being adopted you and gave you a befitting life. Yet you chose to hate them, their country, and whatever they stood for. But you have no scorn for your biological parents or your country people who abandoned you and left you to navigate life at the hands of the orphanage alone. Please be freaking serious right now. This also boils down to the same vocalization of white hate, which seems to have overtaken the internet. I looked up this woman's account on TikTok and all her videos are anti-white, anti-American. She started echoing the same racial sentiments that some black people usually say when talking about white people. Okay? Like in this video.
Why did I just watch a palm-colored man critiquing...
She was referring to white people as palm-colored people, which is a derogatory code that so many anti-white black people use whenever they are referring to white people. On so many of her videos, she was speaking as if she was a black person and was speaking about issues on behalf of black people. Some black people even got angry and recognized that she was a race drifter and called her out for using black-related issues for fame. And this was her response.
The people who are saying that I shouldn't talk about black issues, everybody talks about white issues, and I'm not white. I'm talking about the people that I take inspiration from, the people who I admire. I don't care about whether or not other people love black people. I love black people.
You can clearly see that this woman wants to be oppressed so much, okay? She wants to look like the most oppressed person in America, so much so that she has taken it upon herself to be a spokesperson for black people, just so she could benefit off of the oppression. I hate to put myself in the shoes of that wonderful, compassionate American couple who adopted her and gave her a life filled with all the privileges she's enjoying today, okay? The level of disappointment they will be feeling now, seeing how she turned out, would be indescribable. But I'm happy that this lady is a grown adult, okay? And she can do whatever she likes now. She can decide to go back to China and live as free as a bird in a Chinese society. What I don't understand is why she has remained in this horrible America, enjoying the rights she has as an American citizen. If she doesn't like it in America, all she has to do is pack up and leave. And believe me, with what I have seen about her, no one would stop her. This woman is horrible and she should be ashamed of herself. Anyway, guys, these are my opinions, but you should feel free to share yours in the comment section below, but do so respectfully. Also, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share to keep people informed. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to catch you on my next upload. For now, peace.